So many fun topics we could do today, right? Food being our downfall, exorcism, but we're going to talk about annual meetings, so I'm going to disappoint everybody. And it's not going to be too much of a sermon, it's just an opportunity to just have a conversation together. Next week is going to be our annual meeting. It will be unlike any other annual meeting that we've had in our history. It will be a virtual annual meeting. And I hope that all of you will be able to attend. It will start at 10 a.m. and it will be wrapped up in the Holy Word and in the Eucharist, as we have done over the last few years. A number of you have not had communion since March. So we are going to take the opportunity this week to widely distribute communion so that we can have a moment in our annual meeting of having Eucharist together. The directions for obtaining communion will be posted early this week, but in general, you'll be able to come by the church Thursday and Friday and Saturday to pick up the Eucharist. And for those who are unable to come to the church, we will find a way to get the Eucharist to you. If you're one of those people who are going to find it difficult to come to pick up the Eucharist, or you know of folks who are going to find it challenging to come, please call the front office this week. It's going to be an abridged annual meeting so that we can do it in about an hour and a half time from 10 to 11:30. We'll have an opportunity to hear from the wardens and from your rector. You will have an annual meeting booklet that will talk about the ways in which our various ministries have entered into 2020 and are now entering into 2021. We'll have an opportunity to have some conversation, and we'll have an opportunity to look at the budget that was passed for 2021. It's good news on that front. We have been able to get through 2020 well, thanks to your generosity, thanks to the stewardship of our vestry and our finance committee. And it looks as if we're going to be able to have a healthy 2021. I suspect soon we will be all getting vaccinated, and I hope somewhere in this year we're going to be able to regather together in person. So that's going to be a big theme for us as we have our annual meeting together and part of our conversation. We're going to be using Zoom as our basic primary channel and mechanism in which to gather. Some of you are very familiar with Zoom and others are not. There'll be an opportunity this week to try out Zoom and to learn a little bit about how Zoom functions and how it will function for our annual meeting. We want to make this as easy as possible for the parish, but as with all new things and as with all technology, it's not always perfect. So we will give that collegial and collaborative ethic that is part of St. Mark's, and we will enter this with a sense of curiosity and patience, and it will be what it is. So be on the lookout for some particular information, but the primary task today is please come. Please listen to where we've gone over 2020 and where we're heading in 2021. It's an opportunity also to hear about who your new vestry members are and to approve or disapprove of that particular slate. So I want to summarize by saying this. If you're able to come get the Eucharist, you will hear about how you do that. What will end up happening is they will be consecrated hosts. They'll be put into a small box. You'll pick it up at the church. And then you'll put it in a place of honor in your home until Sunday, when we will have a simple rite to be able to receive those consecrated hosts or the pre-sanctified liturgy together. And if you are unable to come to the church or know somebody who's unable to come to the church, please call in and we will make sure that we will get somebody to bring the Eucharist to those individuals or to you. The last thing I wanted to just touch base with, because I think it's important to. This week we started to see the vaccination available for folks 75 and above. A number of you I know have been able to be vaccinated. We're sort of blessed in a way that we have a fairly large vaccination point here at Gillette Stadium. I myself got vaccinated the week before. I personally found that experience to be very easy. I know others have had a little bit of a challenge in terms of having to wait, but I'm hearing for most folks that they were able to get in line and to be indoors and to get vaccinated relatively quickly and with ease. At the same time, because it's such a large effort and it's a new effort, there's lots of problems. There's problems with technology. There's problems with folks not being comfortable with technology. There's problems with putting your insurance cards in, all of those things that are difficult. And so I'm hoping by next week that we're going to be in a place where there's going to be an easily accessible phone call. So what I'd say is the church is a mechanism by which we should let folks know as to what's going on. So we will continue to post on the St. Mark's Episcopal Facebook site information for those who are able to be vaccinated and the information that we feel is the most easily digested. And then we hope that as it continues to expand, there's going to be more opportunities. It may be the case that we will have to open up our churches or our schools or our libraries, our senior citizen centers, and really have lots and lots of vaccination points. At that point, we'd be sending out an email to you, letting you know where that was. But please be persistent. If you are in a category that's able to be vaccinated, I encourage you to be vaccinated as quickly as possible. I haven't had any ill effects, and I know after I was vaccinated, I have felt much less anxious and feeling as if I'm doing my part to keep myself and all of you safe. And then the last thing I would say is, we do such a good job at St. Mark's accompanying one another, helping keep each other informed. So if you find yourself finding an easy way to be vaccinated, pass that information on, share it in a phone call. We have to continue to pray and direct our prayers towards making sure that this vaccination rollout continues to expand and that everyone in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts is able to be vaccinated. So in summary, you'll be hearing more and more about vaccination points, test sites, vaccination sites, and places where there's material offered. I will be putting that up on the Facebook page of St. Mark's, and then if there's particular information about Foxborough, I will be sending that information out. And by all means, if you have thoughts, please let me know, and we'll get that information there. I look forward to seeing you all next week virtually. Unlike Facebook, Zoom allows us to see one another. It's going to allow us to be able to hear one another. And I'm really looking forward to seeing the parish together. So please be on the lookout for more information, for the Zoom link, for information about communion, as well as the booklet for the annual meeting itself, which will be offered primarily electronically, but there'll be some printed up copies. In the meantime, keep warm. I don't think we're going to have a terrible snowstorm, which is a relief, but it seems like it's going to be 3 days of snow that's not going to amount to much. So let's see how that all goes. It's New England. We'll just cross our fingers. So continue to be well, and see you all next week on Zoom. Let us offer our prayers.